Hello there, good morning, and welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're here to do the episode that we do every Sunday. Usually comes out around noon. It's going to be a bit late today. We'll get into that shortly. So this is called This Week. It's an episode I do, like I said, every Sunday, in which I talk about what's going to be going on the channel this week with the regular shows and whatever particular series we're running for the month. I may talk a little bit about the future shows at times, and I also go back and discuss some things that maybe were a little bit of a problem in the past. So we'll start with the past because it's usually the best way to clean up the past before we move forward. So had a couple of episodes, I believe Monday nights and Wednesday nights were both late coming out, mostly because it's a busy time of year for us and I haven't been able to start them until I get home, and then I'm doing a bunch of things. By the time I get to it, it's the recording time takes a little bit of time, so that's the reason for the lateness for the two episodes. The other, of course, was that What's New did not come out last night, primarily because I was out and the entire day, came home long enough to eat and then go and do my personal functions and didn't get back till late, and so the episode, I had to cancel the episode. We'll be doing it this week. So, and the only other couple things, I had a couple people that I guess didn't really like my wanted one of my episodes to be politically correct, and because it says not what I hoped for, I put down not what we hoped for, being generally type of discussion. I guess the reason it's like that is just because I thought people that watch the channel are here to watch what I have to say, but are also participating at the same time. So that's the reason I use the word we. And some people, I guess, don't really like it that way. It should be I. So I'm not absolutely politically correct, so I tend not to change things just because people want me to, because they want it to be politically correct, and I'm not going to change it at this point either. And a couple people, of course, didn't like one of the comparison episodes we did and thought that perhaps Phil Collins is a piece of shit. I don't think so, but that's just his opinion, so there was a little bit of a back and forth there. I do apologize for that. Anyways, that's it for the past. Everything is up to snuff. The only thing is that my MSI, for some reason, the camera is not recording anything. I'm not really sure what happened. It was fine yesterday when I used it, but not recording at this time, so I'll have to go and look through it. So for today, we're going to use my other computer, which isn't as good visually as the MSI, but it's sufficient enough to do this. So we're doing, for this week, for those of you who follow it, I usually talk about the channel shows first, and then get into what's going on with the series. So the channel shows, of course, this week usually comes out, like I said, at midday. Usually try to get it out by noon, but sometimes it's a little bit later, mostly because of the computer today. However, it isn't, in actual fact, technically speaking, it's not actually the first episode. The first episode was this morning, which was the series episode, but it's ongoing, so it's going to go every day, whether it's the start of the week or not. So technically speaking, it is actually the first episode, although for the purpose of this show, it's actually not recorded as the first. It's considered the last episode of last week. So anyways, having said that, we're going to get on. So the next show that usually comes out is Commonalities Compared. This week, we're going to do John Lennon and Paul McCartney for the Commonalities Compared. Yes, they have quite a bit in common. They also have a lot of contrast as well. And we'll be talking about both of those aspects when I do the episode tonight, and that will come out at 8 o'clock. I chose this just in case you don't know who Paul McCartney and Paul McCartney and John Lennon are. They're the guys at the top there. I can't imagine anybody watching this channel who wouldn't know who they are. Okay, the next episode out is called a look back, and we're doing the third album from the Wooden Nickel collection for Styx. Just want to see if I can find the picture of it. I know it's in here. So that will be this album here, Serpent Rising. Yeah, their third studio album. I have it as part of the Wooden Nickel collection that I purchased from Laserdisc, or Laser CD if you prefer. So this is the cover of that album. I'm working my way through all 4 of the original Wooden Nickel albums. I'm now on to number 3. I think this is at this point in time, of the 3 that I've listened to, I think it's the best one. And so we'll be doing a look back at a classic rock album on that episode, on that album for this week, which will come out Monday at 8 o'clock. So the mini-series will continue next, Bands by the Numbers. We are going to do, I guess this would be considered a duet as opposed to a band. Although in one case, one of my honorable mentions is actually a band, even though it's run by 2 guys, or was run by 2 guys. But I've picked my favorite duet, and then I've added a couple of what you might call honorable mentions here. Yeah, so that mini-series episode will come out Tuesday at 8 o'clock. This is a series that Ben is doing the setup for, and then I am doing the live discussion about it. Well, not the live, but the video discussion about it. Next episode up is called Favorites. Decided to do something a little bit different. Wanted to give Ben a shout out for all of the stuff that he does for this channel, all the stuff that he comes up with, all the ideas that he comes up with that I take on and do according to whatever we discuss. So I'm going to do the 5 bands that Ben introduced me to on this channel. So there's probably more than that, but there's the 5. I guess these are going to be my 5 favorite bands that he introduced me to on the channel. So we're going to do an episode of that this week, and that will come out Wednesday at 8. The next show up is called Not What We Hoped For. I know some people prefer it if it's not what I hoped for, but I'm sticking with the title, so some people will just have to get over it, I guess. So the album I've chose for this week is this one. Still haven't listened to it since I opened it, but I've probably listened to this album a couple hundred, maybe as much as 500 times in the career. So all those original Black Sabbath albums, Paranoid, Master of Reality, Volume 4, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. This was the one of the 5 that really didn't make it to Masterpiece album, although it's a great album. I like it a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on here that's good. But for some reason, I've always felt that this one was a little bit of a letdown for me, even though it's still like ranked as a 1. Maybe potentially could end up as a masterpiece. Now that I have it again, I probably will listen to it a bit more. So this is Black Sabbath's debut, of course. So that's the album we're going to do for Not What We Hoped For, which will come out Thursday at 8. The next episode up, of course, is the live stream, and which is for the Into the Prog verse. We're going to continue with my kind of isolation of instrumentation, if you want to call it. So last Into the Prog verse, I did guitar players, my top 10 progressive rock guitar players. This week we're going to do my 10 favorite prog bassists. And so that's what we're going to do. That will come out Friday at 8 o'clock. Saturday, we're going to do a one-off in the afternoon, which is the recent album reviews. And this album has been in my playlist now for about 7 months and deserves to get some mention here. It's Wobblers, Dwellers of the Deep, their most recent album, coming out in 2020. Excellent album, so we're going to be doing that for recent album reviews. It doesn't quite fall into the look back at a classic rock album because it's not old enough. It's not a brand new album, didn't come out this year, so it has to get So that's why I created this episode, to do those one-offs that don't quite measure up to either of those two categories. And then, of course, the last episode of the week will be the one that we missed last week, which is What's New. And that will be Bill Wyman's Drive My Car, which will be Saturday at 8. So that's it for the regular channel episodes. And also, in addition, we have the series that we're running for the month of December, which are my top 31 favorite albums that were released in December. Could be any year from 63 through to 2024. I don't think there was many albums prior to 63. There was probably some, but I don't think so. I think 63 was kind of the first year they made albums, and not many bands were doing it at that time. Mostly it was singles and hit singles and stuff like that. So we have, again, 7 episodes to go. We had 1 this morning. We will continue and do the other 6 for the week. And the series is building, and the albums are getting stronger. At least, in my opinion, they're getting stronger, especially towards the end of this week. Probably the last 3 or 4, probably the last 4 are pretty strong. The first 3, or first 4 in this case, actually the first 4 in this case, are good, solid albums, but they could have gone any which way. The last 3, not 4, are excellent albums, and probably are starting that trend towards upping. So the curve is starting now to seriously go up. So that's the series we're running for the month. We will be doing, in the following month, in January, we will be doing a series that is a brain thrust of Ben's that he wanted to do, so I decided to fit it in January. It's going to be rock bands A to Z. I'm going to pick my 2 favorite rock bands for each letter for the entire 26 days, for the entire 26 letters. I'll probably give you at least 1 honorable mention as well, so probably you might consider his top 3. Ben, I'm not sure if he wants to jump in there and put his own 2 in there as well. He can always send me those, and I can put them on before I do my own, if he decides he wants to do it. It might be a lot to ask from him. He's very busy, so it's up to him. But we're still weeks away from that, so he has time to debate whether he wants to or not. Okay, so that is pretty much it for this week. I hope to see you guys throughout the week. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss the episodes. Hit the like and subscribe. That helps a lot for this channel. And if you want, you can put stuff in the notification, or actually put it in the comment section below if you want to talk about anything I've said or anything that you would like to recommend, or whatever you want to do. You can put that in the comment section below. And we'll be back next Sunday for another episode of this week. Sorry, I was about to say what's new, but for this week. So have yourself a good evening, take care, and have yourself a good day. Bye.